Thank you, Natalie, on this lovely sunny afternoon at the New York, New Jersey Stadium. And so to the turn of one of the World Cup heavyweights. France, as ever, are in it to win it, and with their attacking riches, it's hard to look beyond them. The start of the final goodbye for Didier Deschamps, the last dance of his 14 years at the helm. But beware the weight of history and the ghosts of 2002. 24 years since Senegal shocked France and the footballing world, and now far more established on the international stage, they are out to do it again. This, Mark McGee, could be the game of the tournament so far.
So far, I think it absolutely could be. You and I have been licking our lips at the thought of this and been impatient yesterday, wanting to get to bed, to get up today, to come here, because, you know, it's got the makings of a fantastic game. Predominantly, I believe, because I can only see goals. You know, from both teams, I think there will be goals, which is the makings of a great World Cup game.
Well, the pitch is bathed in sunshine. It's a little dry, it's a little patchy, but this certainly is a stadium fit for the World Cup final on the 19th of July. They'll be live on TalkSport, of course. And as I look around all three tiers of this bowl-shaped arena, big screens at either end of the stadium, it is pretty much totally full. There's barely a spare seat to be had. This is the France team. Magnon in goal, Koundé, Upamecano, Saliba and Theo Hernandez, Tchouaméni and Rabiot, and Lissé, Dembélé and Doué behind Mbappé up front. A quartet to strike fear into the hearts of any defence at this World Cup. For Senegal, Mendy in goal, Jatta, Koulibaly, Niakate and Diouf, Kamara, Idrissa Gueye and Pape Gueye in the middle. Sarr, Jackson and Mane are the front three, and I can see a long way down below is a steep drop to the touchline below from our lofty perch. Didier Deschamps in his dark suit and having their photos taken on the halfway line, with the pennants now having been exchanged. Kylian Mbappé to the left hand side and Kalidou Koulibaly to the right. This is a tremendous setting for any World Cup match. And now, as those France players start to go into a huddle to the left of the edge of the centre circle, the atmosphere and that anticipation will build. We've seen plenty of France shirts around New York City in the build-up, but Senegal have decided, I think, to turn the teams around here. So France will attack the France end in the first half rather than the second.
And you can be sure that's something that's been thought about. That's not random. So they know there's somewhere someone sat down and worked it out and said, right, if this happens we do this, if this happens we do that. So, you know, if that's what happened and they've had their choice, then good on them. But I think that which way they shoot really will be neither here nor there. At the end of the day, it's the 11 French players that they're facing, and that's the biggest opponent, not the direction of their travel.
We are only 5 miles from Manhattan and the glitz and the glamour of New York City. Rarely has there been a finer setting for a fixture with genuine potential to showcase the appeal of the global game. One of the favourites against one of the dark horses. France against Senegal. It is live on your World Cup station, the place with more World Cup coverage than anywhere else. That, of course, is TalkSport. France get the game off and underway. They kick for touch. France in the dark blue shirts, white shorts and red socks, and Senegal in the white shirts, green shorts and white socks. And Senegal have a throw in the first few seconds in their right back position. Crépin Diatta will take it, goes short to Kamara, rolls the ball along the touchline. It's cleared away up towards Mbappé. Koulibaly with an important interception, and a thundering ball downfield from Koulibaly, miscleared by Jules Koundé. Sadio Mane with a couple of neat tricks and flicks as he gathers up possession on the halfway line. This vast expanse of a surface, 25 degrees or so the temperatures here today on the northeast coast of the United States. It is France 0, Senegal 0, as both teams just settle into the game 24 years on from that famous meeting at the World Cup in 2002. Kamara for Senegal, out to the left-hand side. Sadio Mane, he's got support from Diouf. Good cross by Diouf, and headed behind by Theo Hernandez for the game's first corner. Let's get a word from Mark McGee.
Wow, my goodness. I thought that had goal written all over it. A fantastic ball into the middle. The defender, dealt with it well. It's given away a corner, but, a slick move. They've transferred the ball from the right-hand side here, quick passing across to the left-hand side there. The extra player in the overlap's got a fantastic ball in and created the first chance of the match. Different from what we expected. I expected France to have the first chance of the match.
Well, Diouf is a superb crosser of the ball, as we've seen throughout the domestic season at West Ham. The referee just having a word with Nicholas Jackson, who's planting his feet on the heels of the goalkeeper Magnon. All around us are supporters of both sets of countries, and of course plenty of foreign media as well. There's a gentleman wearing a huge red and blue top hat in front of us. I think he's supporting France. Corner to Senegal in these very early stages. 2 minutes gone, taken short to Mane, back out wide to Diouf, and the referee has blown for a foul on Magnon, and that'll be a free kick to France.
Well, with the new rules, in the way the referees are policing it, these situations, and before the ball's even taken, before the corner's even taken, they can give a free kick. But Nicholas Jackson was doing that for 2 or 3 minutes before it. It's silly. He's taking away the pressure from France by giving away a needless
kick. It's a good new rule, isn't it, Mark? I think sensible. Why not bring it into the game?
It is, but that little instant there was just about a little bit of responsibility for me. He's taking the pressure off of them. Don't give a foul away. Let them foul you and get a penalty kick.
That's the voice of former Scotland assistant and expert restaurant finder Mark McGee. I can tell you he's very good at that. On the halfway line is Koundé for France. Back to Upamecano. Do you agree? Do you take that crown?
I'm not saying anything.
Here is Saliba, cornerstone of Arsenal's first league title in 22 years, midway inside his own half the field. Square to Upamecano. We're at walking pace here with France in possession. An early touch dropping back from Michael Olise, the assist king of Europe over the course of the season. Rabiot with an early ball. Kylian Mbappe tries to bring it down midway inside the Senegal half. It bounced off his heel. It'll be cleared away by Koulibaly. The ball was slightly behind Mbappe, and then a foul by Rabiot in the middle of midfield on Sadio Mane, and that'll be a free kick to Senegal. You're listening to Talk Sport, and it's France 0, Senegal 0 in the 4th minute.
Yeah, it was interesting. Olise was right in the centre of the pitch there, right in off the wing. It was him that got involved in the pass, and when it went to Mbappe, and it was just a fraction behind him. He almost managed to do some sort of acrobatic layoff with his heel, but it was just too far behind him. But exactly the situation they're trying to get him in, get that ball in front of him, and wow, he's in.
It's a busy few hours to come at the World Cup. 11 o'clock, you can hear live commentary of Iraq against Norway as Erling Haaland and co get off and underway live on TalkSport 2. Argentina underway, the holders, against Algeria at 2 a.m. live here on TalkSport. And of course tomorrow it is the turn of England. 9 o'clock kickoff live from inside the stadium in Dallas. TalkSport with England legend Stuart Pearce on co-commentary, the only place you need to be. Plenty of build-up all throughout the day, including live here from New York City, White and Jordan, from the 50th floor of the World Trade Center. Here is Upamecano, the number 4, out to the right-back position, and Koundé, quite a leisurely atmosphere and certainly a leisurely pace to the opening 5 minutes. Upamecano square to Saliba.
It strikes me that the pitch is quite slow, actually. The ball's not zipping that way that France might want it to. I think it's a little bit dry, and they can't move the ball quite as quickly as they want to.
Maybe that will help Senegal. Here is Upamecano, little dummy by Dembele. Koundé on the underlap, tries to get forward down the inside right, but the ball is through to the former Chelsea goalkeeper Edouard Mendy, decked out in all orange away to our left-hand side. Mendy pushes the ball forward into the feet of Idrissa Gueye, and now Jatta, early ball up to the leggy Ismail Assar on the halfway line. Over the halfway line he goes, but Theo Hernandez gets a foot in to whip it off his toes, and France have possession back again. Theo Hernandez down the left, blocked off by Idrissa Gueye, very experienced, the Everton man. And now Pat Gueye, midway inside his own half, back to the feet of Niakate, out to the left-hand side in Juve, who we know likes to get forward. All the way on that far side of the field.
Yeah, there's a determination about their passing. They're putting something into it, like, they've realised the pitch isn't going to, help them, but they're passing the ball, but they're actually putting something on it, and I like that. They're firing it into each other to make sure it gets there, because if it's left a little bit short, the France players are so quick and onto it. A minute ago we saw Hernandez right up on his opponent and nipping at his heels, so the ball has to get there quickly.
Senegal looking to play the ball through the defensive third at the moment. Header on by Sarr, up towards Jackson, clever back heel. Sarr takes it in his stride, surges into the penalty area and shoots right-footed, well blocked by Upamecano, who forces him wide. Expertly done by the big centre-half. Good strength to shrug aside Sarr in the end. As France win it back, they then lose possession straight away through Desiré Doué. Senegal now have it with Kamara, but that was easily the best opening of the game so far.
A brilliant piece of defending by Upamecano, and then Doué gives the ball away. That's the point. We went on about it with Scotland. Get a free kick or get something out of that. Keep possession. Don't let them straight back at you.
Oh, here goes Sarr again. He couldn't reach the ball through to him from Idrissa Gueye, and it's gathered by Magnon, but there is a sense of a no fear approach from Senegal, and indeed their head coach Pat Chow has been talking up the team's chances in the build-up. He said, if I lose even a second of my belief that we can win the tournament, then I'll quit. So they're aiming high here in the United States, and here they come again with Pat Gueye finding Sarr, 25 yards out, floats it into Jackson with his back to goal, shoots, and he's offside.
Yeah, I thought it was offside. We go back to this whole principle about France are now giving Senegal a little bit of encouragement by one or two things that they've done. What Doué done here, giving the ball away down in this side right below us. They can't afford to give them any optimism. They've got to stifle that right from the beginning by their possession, by their territorial advantage, by getting up the field, and they've not quite managed to do that yet.
That's the voice of Mark McGee, former Scotland assistant, part of our Scotland commentary team. Nerves already jangling ahead of Morocco.
Absolutely, but I'm going to enjoy this first.
Well, it is a cracker that we have in front of us. Saliba square to the right-hand side, and Upamecano now the ball at the feet of Tchouaméni. Upamecano again rolling it back to Magnon, all in bright yellow. It's his first World Cup, so a World Cup debut for Magnon here today in the sun. Now the ball at the feet of Elise, again dropping deeper into that central position. Oh, France nearly gave it away. Magnon had to hurriedly clear. That was a loose pass towards Tchouaméni, and out came the goalkeeper to smack it away from danger.
Yeah, interesting where Elise is. Look at him, he's on it again right in the middle of the park. Would expect him to be in a slightly wider position, so he's one of the ploys to sort of drag them about a little bit.
Elisa trying to flick the ball out to the right-hand side, and Koundé, it's well won back by Diouf though for Senegal. Sadio Mane, the number 10, the record goal scorer, popping it back to Idrissa Gueye. Senegal from left to right in the first half, towards the end where most of their supporters are housed. There are French flags, blue, white and red all around the stadium. France attacking from right to left in the first half. And the ball out of play right on this near side. Little keepy-uppy from the Senegal head coach Pat Chow, and it's going to be a Senegal throw right in front of their dugout here.
France are pressing on this side, pressing early and pressing high, getting after it. Mbappe, even as he spoke about before, is lending to some of that. But what does happen is, if Senegal manage to play through it, they suddenly find they've got a man advantage on the other side. They find themselves 2v1, and France are scrambling a little bit. So in the press, they have to make sure that they do win the back. They don't let them out.
Well, Magnon has just sliced a clearance straight out of play. A lot of spectators here very early for the game today. We arrived several hours before kick-off, but as we came up to our seats high in the top of the main stand in the commentary position, there were already thousands here ready to watch the action unfold. Good turn by Mane out on the left, blocked off by Koundé. Now the leggy Pat Gueye, back to Niakate and Idrissa Gueye dropping in between the two centre-halves. He's the deepest lying midfield player. Kamara all the way back to goalkeeper Mendy. And you have to say, Senegal have made an impressive start against arguably the tournament favourites, 0-0.
And you know what's impressive is that as athletes, the way they move, the way they're running, it's smooth, isn't it? It's energetic. They look as if they've got energy in their legs. They look as if they've got speed in their legs and the ability to pass out as well as run. So yeah, a great start for Senegal.
Even if this is potentially energy-sapping heat, and it is very warm pitch side today. Dembele on the halfway line, little 1-2 with Elise, and then he'll knock the ball square onto the chest of Upamecano, who started with a great authority in that central defensive position. Dembele spraying the ball from right to left, out to the near side, and Doué now. Doué inside left channel, shuffling in field. Senegal with the white shirts back behind the ball. Doué now to the feet of Upamecano again. To his right, early ball to Mbappe. Mbappe miscontrols. Koulibaly gets in front of him and clears away left-footed.
Wow, well, that's the last thing you expect. A great ball into his feet. If he gets a good touch, he's got a chance to get a shot away. His touch wasn't good and it goes beyond him and he loses possession. Surprising that Mbappe didn't control that one and get a shot away.
Just not quite sharp enough, and France were certainly not sharp at open play in Euro 2024 despite reaching the semi-finals. But since then there have been some tactical tweaks, some attacking switches, and that's proved really profitable in attacking areas, unlike Mbappe, who, remember, is only one goal off Olivier Giroud's all-time tally of France goals, and that is 57, Mbappe on 56. Rabiot with the ponytail, dropping deep into his own half, and now scampering over the halfway line. Teo Hernandez to his left-hand side. Rabiot goes on, held up by the challenge of Koulibaly, and Koulibaly has started the game well. The Senegal captain forces a Senegal throw in the right-back position. It's France 0, Senegal 0. You're listening to Talk Sport. Once we're done here tonight, you can have your say on the sports bar. 03717 223344 as always is the number to call. Hoisted high downfield by Diouf, and that's going to take one bounce and trickle towards the dead ball line. It stayed in play via Sadio Mane. Good covering in the end by Upamecano to send it back to Magnon. Goalkeeper clears high and long up into the bright blue sky. One back by Mbappe after a mistake by Koulibaly. Mbappe trying to race down the middle, but even his electric pace, he can't reach the ball from Dembele, and it's through to Mendy again.
Well overhit, but you know, looking again the same sort of bit of action, you know, the ball trying to slide that ball down the side of the centre half for Mbappe's run, but so far they've not been accurate enough. One earlier that came behind them, it caused him to turn back, and that one he was overhit and went through.
I get the sense, Mark, that both teams are capable of mistakes trying to play out from the back here today, and partly because of the surface. The ball's not travelling as true as they might hope it would be.
I think that is part of it, but equally I think that there's a little bit impatience in the French play. You know, they want to get it as quick as they can, get Mbappe away.
Well, Doué's won a free kick 25 yards from goal, which he's taken quickly. Dembele onto the left foot. Dembele plays a reverse pass, intercepted in the middle of midfield by Pat Gay. Now Mane, with nobody really ahead of him, has to go back to the left back Diouf, all the way on that far side of the field. Diouf just chips the ball downfield. It's a fight ball for Jackson, beaten to it easily by Upamecano. This is World Cup Game Day live on TalkSport, brought to you by Burger King Burger Buddies. Total tournament satisfaction delivered by the experts. Order now on the BK app. It's France 0, Senegal 0, as the noise of the France fans starts to pick up here inside the stadium. And we've had nearly 15 minutes.
Yeah, I'm looking at the clock there to see how close we are to the water break. We're only halfway through the water break, but I think Didier Deschamps will be down there wishing it was now, because I think he's got something to fix.
Well, he's down there at the moment in his dark suit with his arms folded. Last tournament as the France boss for Deschamps. Inside right is Dembele, now drifting into the middle, playing it square to William Saliba. A lot of possession at the moment for France. Senegal happy to let them have the ball and defending rather deep at the moment. The ball is shuffled out wide right to Koundé with the long hair. Early touch from Mbappe, wide to Elise. Elise trying to work the ball onto his favoured left foot, but nobody's in the middle for France. Here is Upamecano. Upamecano looks up now, angled ball to Koundé, and he nudges it into the penalty area, but it's not coming off at the moment in the final third for either team. That is the simplest of gathers for Edouard Mendy.
Yeah, and Koundé there, plays the ball one touch. I always, advocate that, have a touch and play the same pass. They would not be able to play it. So if he has a touch, he'd make a much better pass than he's maybe likely to get somebody in. But that one round the corner blind is like just giving the ball away.
Koulibaly with a thump of a ball upfield, headed away by Saliba after one bounce. It's dropped to Pat Gay, who fizzes it downfield, and that is way over hit again. No chance of Mane to reach it. And Magnon with a quick throw out to Koundé. France trying to keep the tempo high at this stage in the game.
They are, but it's interesting because as well as trying to pass the ball through as Senegal have done a couple of times from this right hand side over to the left hand side, they're also capable of a longer pass. So every now and again they're popping one in behind. So rather than taking a long time to make passes to keep possession and get up there, every now and again they're going forward quickly, which is different from France. France haven't used that ploy, and therefore they're having to play everything and pass everything and make their way up the field. So France have to be careful because one of those lone boys could get a Senegal forward in.
Well, England are well aware of Senegal's qualities, as we saw at the City Ground a year or so ago. Upamecano on the halfway line to Koundé, who was under pressure from Nicholas Jackson. Koundé just turns infield from the right back position, picks out Tchouaméni, and France are comfortable on the ball once again. England against Croatia, live from Dallas tomorrow at 9 o'clock here on Talk Sport, live and in full as you'd expect, with all the post-match reaction and build-up. Over on the right is Elise, dancing feet with the white boots on. Elise shapes to cut infield, goes back out wide right to Koundé, back to Upamecano, and now here's Saliba, left edge of the centre circle. Saliba to Rabiot, out to the near side of the field. Desiree Doué weaving infield, looking for Teo Hernandez. Now Kylian Mbappe, they're trying to get some momentum in the game. Mbappe surrounded by three white shirts. Tchouaméni, 0-0. Out to Elise, and they've flooded the penalty area all of a sudden, France. Elise, back to Dembele, head to the area, left-footed shot, well blocked by Niakate, and it's hacked away by Pat Gay before anybody can snap up the rebound.
Gay in the middle of the park's doing a really good job in getting between Mbappe and the ball, so he's blocking the way into Mbappe, and Mbappe's finding it a little bit difficult to get on the ball. His movement is really good, Mbappe. He's making those little, go short, go long, go short, come short, so he's working hard to try and get on the ball, but Gay's doing a great job, as well as sitting and being a pivot for the ball for his own team.
Mark McGee, former Scotland assistant, with us for commentary here at the New York, New Jersey Stadium. Forward by Pat Gay, an excellent ball, angled down the right. Cross in by Sarr is floated and really poorly hit. It'll drift over the top of Magnon's goal and out for a goal kick. That's a big missed opportunity for Senegal, because both Jackson and Mane were racing forward into the middle.
Yeah, I'd question the surface there again. I'm not sure that it didn't have something to do with the fact that he shanked it, sort of a little bit right. It didn't set up the way he'd want to do to be able to get it coming back the way. So yeah, I think we're suspicious about this pitch.
It's not the best, or at least it's not the truest. Patchy in some areas, maybe. Out on the far side of the field, France have the ball again. It's at the feet of Upamecano, the number 4. Tchouaméni, midway inside his own half. Tchouaméni looks up, faced up by a sea of white shirts. Senegal happy to let France have possession. They've now had 60% of the ball, France, in the opening 20 minutes as we tick slowly towards the end of the first quarter, some are calling it now, with these hydration breaks.
I gave up 4 quarters.
And indeed, there are Mexican waves going around the stands at the moment here. Maybe gives you a sense of the atmosphere in the ground at the moment. Koundé away down the right, blocked off by the industrious Diouf, who tried a little back heel. Did it go out of play before he could clear it? It did, and that'll be a corner to France on the far side there, right?
Yeah, and as much as France have had that 60% possession, they've not had enough of it in the last third of the field. It's all been in the middle bit here in front of us, between the halfway line and the front line.
Elise whips in the corner and cleared away by Jackson. The ball hits Tchouaméni and deflects behind for a goal kick.
First corner, I think. for France, and
France.
they didn't make the best of it. You can see what they're trying to do. There's some sort of ball going into the front post there. They know what they're trying to do, but they don't get anything from it.
Here comes the Mexican wave again, Mark.
Yeah, well,
Will you be on your feet?
No, I won't be.
We blocked somebody's view behind us anyway.
Well, I don't know if it's a reflection of what the game's like for people watching it.
Yeah.
That they're distracted enough to even have a Mexican wave, but I wish the game was maybe a little bit more dynamic for them, so that they didn't need to be doing Mexican waves to keep themselves entertained.
Given the attacking quality on the field, it has been a little flat so far, but there's a long way still to go. Live on TalkSport, nearly a quarter of the way through. France 0, Senegal 0. Neither goalkeeper's had a serious save to make just yet. If you're just joining us, back pass by Kamara. Mendy had to race out to beat Mbappe to it, hammers it high downfield. The ball takes a couple of bounces and is hooked over his shoulder by Koundé up towards Dembele, and he was out-muscled by Niakate, headed clear by Koulibaly. It's dropped down to Kamara in the centre circle, back to Koulibaly again. Niakate once more, he's got Juve on his outside. Probably hear the roar of the fans as they do this Mexican wave. Jackson dropping deep into the centre circle, gives it away to Doué, bounces off Doué, then Tchouaméni slides in, scrappy passage of play. Rabiot comes away with it, looks for Mbappe, inside left, Mbappe to Rabiot. Good work tracking back there by Jatta, and he nudges it out of play for a France corner.
Yeah, but the whole thing was a little bit fortunate. France gave it to Senegal gave it back to France.
Oh, it's been taken short. Mbappe, edge of the penalty area, lays it square. Shot could be on for Doué. Lovely footwork, but he can't get beyond Idrissa Gueye. And now maybe Senegal can counter. Racing forward is Pape Gueye over the halfway line. He'll chip the ball towards Jackson on the inside right. Good work by France. Good industry from Upamecano getting across. And again, the Senegal threat is nullified.
How strong and how quick Upamecano looks against Jackson. He's finding it tough to get him, but he's got to keep doing that. He's got to keep making those runs and testing Upamecano.
Well, pretty even so far, and goalless it remains. Here is Koulibaly, back to Mendy, takes a couple of risky touches and nearly gives it away. Under pressure from Dembele. We've seen Edouard Mendy do that before in the Premier League, and he's so nearly gifted a goal to France.
Goodness, that was nearly a really costly mistake.
And he's lucky, Edouard Mendy gets away with it. He has an occasional issue with that sort of thing. Ball at his feet, not convincing. Here is Jatta, right back, midway inside the France half. Looked early with the ball into the feet of Ismail Assar. Nothing given by the referee as he went down under the challenge of Teo Hernandez. Now Tchouaméni. Out to Koundé on the halfway line. And Teo Hernandez made the run through the middle. Koundé didn't elect to play the pass. I would have thought by now that the hydration break would have started, but not as yet. Here come France. Mbappe inside right, sliding in his juice, stretching those long legs, and he wins it back with great tenacity. He's got the run of Jackson ahead of him. Jackson's only got Upamecano between him and the goal. Jackson from the angle shoots, hits the post, and Magnon gets so lucky it hits the back of the goalkeeper and trickles behind for a corner. That was so nearly 1-0 to Senegal.
And a great bit of play in that ball out to Jackson, and Jackson did show Upamecano a bit of a clean pair of heels there. He dropped his shoulder and went past him and got a terrific shot in, and firstly unlucky that it doesn't end up in the net, but secondly it nearly ends up in a rebound in the net. So France got a little bit fortunate there, but great bit of play from Senegal.
How many times have we seen the ball hit the post, hit the goalkeeper and go in? It's hit the heel of Magnon and trickled agonisingly wide. Oohs and ahs from the crowd here as they watch it again on the big screen, but it was so nearly 1-0 to Senegal.
And what a warning to France, and if Deschamps didn't want the water break before, he does now.
Corner to Senegal. It's going to be taken by Kamara, drilled into the near post, headed away. Good touch on that by Desiré Doué, and the ball is out of play for a Senegal throw. The referee stopped it and I think we will now have the water break. So it's suddenly starting to liven up here on TalkSport. Just over the midway point through the first half. France 0, Senegal 0. Senegal have hit the post. What have you made of it, Mark McGee?
Well, certainly if it was a points decision, I'd be giving it to Senegal. I think they've been a little bit better than France. France have had some of that play we talked about, the possession, but it's all been in the middle of the park. There's been not enough of it up here. The second, towards the end of that 25 minutes there, they had a couple of corner kicks that was a little bit better, but one of them even then was a little bit fortunate. Senegal looked dangerous both when they got up round about here and on the counter. They looked more dangerous than France.
You are listening to World Cup Game Day Live on TalkSport, brought to you by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, they're here for it. And they've got the drummers out again behind the goal, giving us a little musical interlude midway through the first half, which is a very strange sensation, very strange feeling. Doesn't quite feel like football to me, but the crowd seem to be enjoying it anyway.
Yeah, I'm sure by the end of this World Cup we'll be used to it, but we're not used to it yet. It's a very bit strange. A little indicator here about what's happening with France. 5 minutes before the end of the first quarter there, Douy and Hernandez got in a little bit of a mix-up, and you could see the language between the two. There was an exchange. That was a little bit kind of that aggravated. It's not all right. They're feeling it down there. They're feeling the stress of not playing as well as they'd hoped they'd play, and Deschamps needs to do something about that. He needs to get that under control.
Well, we've got about 90 seconds of the hydration break to go, so final instructions being issued by Didier Deschamps and Pat Chow, who's got his players in a huddle on the near side of the field, just to the right of the halfway line. And they will be delighted, Senegal, I think, with how they've started this game.
That's what I was going to say. I think he'll be pleased, and he'll be emphasising the aspects of what they've done, what they've done well, and where he sees an advantage to be gained, and and really explaining to them where they've got to keep pressing and where they've got to keep threatening the French, both in the counter-attack with a longer ball, with the counter-attack when they break out, and also passing through.
Well, this is Group I, would you believe it? Group I. Iraq against Norway also in this group at 11 o'clock your time on TalkSport 2. Argentina against Algeria is at 2 a.m. here on TalkSport. As always, make sure you've got the TalkSport app downloaded. You can swipe between both stations at your leisure. And tomorrow, live from Dallas, it is England against Croatia, live on TalkSport. Build up all day, including White and Jordan from the World Trade Center from 1 till 4. Game day drive from 4 till 7. Then we go live to Adrian Durham and the team inside the stadium for 2 hours of the best build-up. Then we've got the reaction in full after the game too. You've spotted something, I think, Mark, here with Idrissa Gueye.
Yeah, I just think that he's probably been the most influential player so far, both defensively blocking it into Mbappe, but also initiating those passes and getting the switches out to the other side. He's been an important player for them, and France need to do something about him.
Well, Senegal, having hit the post in recent minutes, have a throw on the near side. Near Karte, the former Nottingham Forest defender, is going to take it in. It seems as though he's going to shape to hold this one in long, perhaps. Nobody's come short for Near Karte, who's applauding some of the Senegal fans just behind him. And it looks as though France is going to have to deal with the long throw, just as at club level. The long throw is potent, potentially, at international level as well. Lots of dark blue shirts back behind the ball here. Near Karte steps forward, hurls it in long, high into the penalty area, headed away by Doué. Now Mbappe trying to gather the ball up. He's lost out to Koulibaly. The loose ball retrieved by Dembele, who's then fouled by Kamara, and that'll be a free kick to France midway inside their own half of the field.
Mbappe again, Mbappe was 15 yards inside his own half and he's trying to beat the guy to go forward. That's the point, I think, in transition. You've got to keep the ball and let your team get out. Mbappe can't run away from there as good as he is.
Given away by Elise. There's trouble here for France. Ismail Assar with a shot from the edge of the penalty area, and he's actually sliced it wide under pressure. I thought it took a deflection at first glance, but the referee's given the goal kick and France look to counter straight away. Now it's Mbappe with a loose ball. France are out of sorts at the moment. Live on TalkSport. Here goes Pat Gay. Back to the halfway line and Niakate, and Senegal are showing why many would consider them to be dark horses half an hour into the game.
They've been excellent in every aspect of it. They've been excellent, you know, as we said, on the counter, on the passing, putting that extra on it because of the pitch, but also looking to go forward as quickly and as early as they could in any shape or form, whether it's a long ball or whether it's passing.
There's a real sharpness and athleticism about this Senegal side. Niakate's got it on the halfway line. It's his ball out to the left in Diouf. Can they take advantage of the pressure that they're exerting on France? Shoving the back, Koundé on Mane. Free kick to Senegal about 10 yards into France territory, maybe slightly further forward than that. Taken early, lofted high to Jackson. Jackson plucks it out of the air. He's got his back to goal. It's poked away from him by Upamecano. Elise, dead ball line, back to Upamecano. Again, it's a pretty poor clearance. Straight to the feet of Pat Gay, and Senegal will just come at France once again, playing from left to right in the first half. They are much the better team in the moment. Pat Gay with a little chip down the inside left. It's overhit for Mane and gathered by Magnon. France needs some inspiration.
Again, you know, that little chip that he's just tried to play there, overhead goes through to the goalie, but they've played that 4 or 5 times, and you know, it's another aspect of the play that they're doing. So they've got such a variety of ways that they're trying to get in behind or down the side or to get at France. It's really quite exciting to watch.
France with big aims for the tournament, as is always the case. They could become just the third nation to reach 3 straight World Cup finals. A long way to go though, and they are labouring somewhat here in the heat of New York, New Jersey. In the 33rd minute, this is Tchouaméni, the number 8.
I don't see much change from the water break, you know, that Deschamps has done much other than probably, you know, talk to them about, you know, the nature of their performance has not been good enough like that, you know. I'm not sure that he's changed anything much. There's still the same balance in the game that Senegal are the better team, Senegal are the biggest threat, but of course what we have to see all the time is, you know, with the talent and the ability that France have in the team, anything can happen at any time.
Robert Pires and Patrick Vieira among those watching on from the stands here in New Jersey today. It is the middle of the afternoon local time, and the sun still beating down. On the halfway line for France is Théo Hernandez. They have possession, but at a very one-footed, laboured pace. Rabiot on the halfway line with a square ball to Upamecano. 0-0. Upamecano down the inside right, cleared away by Niakate. Not sure who he was looking for there, Upamecano. It was really misjudged.
You know, I'm sure it's part of their tactics, Deschamps' tactics, that the 2 fullbacks push high and wide early. But what it means is that Dembele and Elise are forced inside and are standing still inside, rather than the 2 wingers being out there. And as the ball comes forward, they run inside, and it allows the fullbacks to go round them. I think that they're too early, they're too high, too early, and therefore France aren't able to play.
Former Scotland assistant Mark McGee is with us on TalkSport. Every Scotland game live on TalkSport this World Cup. Out on the right-hand side is Sarr. Early ball down the inside right, overhit towards Kamara, who is making that underlapping run, and out of play goes for a goal kick. You have to feel, Mark, that France are going to improve, aren't they? They're going to get better as the game goes on. So Senegal have got to take this opportunity now while they have it.
Yeah, they do. And now we've got Dugan back inside again, and you know, his fullback pushing on ahead of him, and I think it's too early. I think that's why they're getting congested, that's why they're getting stifled. I think they have to wait to make that movement in order to create a space outside them, and then they can get around them.
Yet to have an effort on target in the game. 10 minutes of the first half to play. Out on the right is Koundé, number 5. Early ball high towards Mbappe, chested down by Koulibaly, and he nudges it clear before Elise can get there. Well defended, but Senegal then give it away. Tchouaméni turning on the halfway line. The Real Madrid man picks out Doué. Out on his left, making the overlapping run is Théo Hernandez. Doué again, one of the PSG contingent in this France squad. Upamecano chips the ball out to the right. Good run by Koundé. Koundé right corner of the penalty area. Blocked off by as Sadio Mane, and now they can dart forward on the counter-attack. Mane caught from behind by Koundé, no foul, says the referee. Forward darts Rabiot. Rabiot can't cut the ball to the right-hand side and to find the feet of his teammate Dembele. It's a scrappy game at the moment, as Senegal, full of energy, win it back again in the middle of midfield.
They did, and again, when France broke there and he's looking to make a pass, they're all ahead of them, they're all standing still because they've arrived too early. I think that France need to sort of rethink their movement, rethink the starting positions, otherwise they're going to just be stifled like this.
Koulibaly's got it again. Senegal captain out to the right hand side, and Crépin Diatta, who darts infield away from Doué. Good run by Diatta, but he's held up by the retreating Doué. Not many can beat him for pace. Kamara, the number 8, infield. It's a loose ball, but gathered up by Idrissa Gana Gueye, who nudges it wide left to the far side. Diouf to Mane, about 35 yards from goal. Sadio Mane's got only Jackson ahead of him. It's all a bit narrow, at least on the right hand side at the moment for Senegal. Hugging the left touchline is Diouf. Back in field to Pat Gueye. France with all of the dark blue shirts behind the ball. It's been a frustrating half, certainly if you're a France supporter, though it is still 0-0. Pat Gueye, chip over the top, that's going to drift out of play for a goal kick.
One of the things we talk about a lot, isn't it, that when you're having a good spell, you need to score a goal. Senegal have been so much better than France this first period, this first half so far, that you feel as if they've got to capitalise on that, and they've got to get something out of that. Otherwise, France will regroup. Didier Deschamps will make a couple of changes, whether it's to the shape or whether it's to the personnel, and France, you would think, will get better. So Senegal have to capitalise on this good start that they've made.
And they have got, as we know, an embarrassment of riches on the bench. Good turn by Mane on halfway. Crowd enjoyed that. Tweet turning away from Koundé and then sliding in to poke it back to the halfway line. Diouf with the back pass to the feet of goalkeeper Mendy. Not had a save to make yet. Mendy rifles the ball upfield. It's swirling towards the right hand side. Header away by Teo Hernandez. Thumping header out of play. And it's a throw to Senegal, which is taken quickly. They still look relatively comfortable defensively here, Senegal. Forward comes Diatta, early ball down the right. Sarr trying to reach it. Sarr can't get there. Saliba comes across, shepherds the ball behind for a goal kick. Good intensity and energy again from Senegal. Maybe they are just lacking themselves that extra refinement, Mark McGee, that extra touch in the final third.
Well, the lack of the quality in that final pass, yes. But one of the things that is happening is that when Senegal win it back in any deeper area, they do things quickly, and you talked about it there, they've taken it quickly. They're doing that a lot, they're just getting it down and playing, whereas every time France win it back in advanced areas at their own end, they take a pause, there's a bit of a rest, they take a wee, and it allows Senegal to recover instead of keeping the pressure on Senegal. Senegal are doing that to them. When anything happens, they break quickly, they pass quickly, and they get at them, they don't give them time to rest.
Arsene Wenger, who also works for FIFA these days, is here today, and his face has just been on the big screen. Now here come Senegal with Sarr surging down the right and darting in field. It's a great run by Sarr into the path of Mane. Mane shoots right-footed. It's straight at Magnon. I think Senegal would have probably rather taken the free kick there, because it was a speculative effort from Mane. After Sarr was caught, he stayed down. Here come France with Elise. Could be controversial, this. Jules Koundé down the right-hand side. There's another Senegal player down. Pulled back to Mbappe, who can't reach it. Smuggled away by Idrissa Gueye. Sarr lying down on the edge of the France box, and the referee has now stopped the game. 0-0.
Well, I'm not sure that the referee played an advantage. I think the referee didn't think it was a foul. I'm not sure, we'll see. But he's planted his foot. Maybe he did catch his foot, but I think the referee didn't think it was a foul. Yeah, it was a foul. He's managed to stand on his foot, but there was no advantage whatsoever. And absolutely right what you say. When the referee, if he sees a foul, there was no advantage there. Give them the free kick.
We've just seen a replay on our monitor in the commentary position on referee cam, one of these newfangled inventions of modern day football. I'm surprised he didn't see it.
I think he must have seen it. He's always, as you say, he's played an advantage, which is ridiculous. You know, that's what you're playing for. You're playing to try and win free kicks around that area. And I don't mean simulation. I'm talking about, you know, running at people, taking people on, moving the ball quickly, moving you quickly, you moving quickly, and forcing people to make bad decisions and challenges.
Assar still being treated here. I mean, Senegal, Mark, they've done everything but score, haven't they, really? That's been the only thing missing from their perspective in the first half. France could hardly have lacked more rhythm than they have. Absolutely,
but, Nicholas Jackson hitting the post, it was the closest they came. It was a great effort, it was a great little run down the side of Upamecano, and it was very unfortunate not to score it when it hits the post, but also when it comes back off the keeper. So they'll still take great encouragement, but it does worry me that, you know, if they get to half time and France get the opportunity to freshen and to change, then they'll come under pressure in the second half.
So France underway right now, Argentina underway very early tomorrow morning, 2 o'clock, live on Talk Sport. The game has resumed. Elise with an early ball to the feet of Dembele. Senegal temporarily down to 10. Dembele was caught. Referees allowed the play to go on. Advantage played. Desiree Doué left corner of the box. He tees up Theo Hernandez. Rabiot is an option short as well. Doué shimmies infield, looks for Mbappe on the turn. He's blocked off by Pat Gay. Good athleticism from Gay. Darts away from two in the blue shirts, and eventually the free kick has actually gone France's way. Well, he was certain, Pat Gay, that he would get a free kick there from the referee. Maybe a little too certain. Instead, France have an opportunity.
Well, I thought it was a free kick for Senegal as well. And then the little ball into Mbappe, you know, he was slow to it. You know, that's what it was about. It wasn't the case it was a bad ball. He was slow towards the ball, Mbappe. He needs to sharpen up, otherwise his team can't build off him, or he won't get those turns that he's so great at, you know, when he gets in his feet, turning people and getting a shot, turning people and running behind them. He's got to be a little bit livelier.
France fans get to their feet behind the goal. France 0, Senegal 0. 2 minutes of the first half to play, plus added time. Live on Talk Sport. Free kick. Left of centre, about 10 yards from the corner of the penalty area. It's Dembele to deliver right-footed, header away by Koulibaly, hooked over his shoulder by Mane and away from danger. Mane's effort saved by Magnon, the only effort on target of the game so far. Good turn down the left by Mbappe, goes infield beyond one, but he's blocked off by the slide of Koulibaly at the second attempt. Now Rabiot going backwards to Theo Hernandez. Are France going to finish the first half the stronger?
The free kick there, I think it was meant for Upamecano, but it didn't reach him.
Nowhere near, was it?
No, it was a poor free kick.
Elise out to the far side of the field, the outside right. Good footwork by Dembele. Good cross in. Koulibaly nudges it behind off his knee. Very fortunate there, Koulibaly. That was a totally uncontrolled clearance that could so easily have turned into an own goal.
Yeah, well, it sort of took a deflection and it came up awkwardly, and I think his improvisation actually was quite good. You know, it was deliberate. His action with his left thigh, and he's put it behind. He's had to, but you know, there was a deflection that made the ball spin.
Corner whipped in by Elise into the near post. That is easy for Mendy. Easy as tape. He didn't even have to move his feet there, the goalkeeper. Just watched it drop into his gloves on the edge of the 6-yard box. 0-0, and it looks like it will be just so at half-time.
I mean, Didier Deschamps will be very frustrated at that. You know, they spend, you know, the last couple of weeks in training camp practicing that, and the first opportunity to get like that, at least he puts it straight to keeper's hands. Again, you know, that's not good enough.
I wonder, Mark McGee, do they make a change or two at half-time? Be interesting with all the options they have got.
Well, I would be surprised if I didn't see Cherki. I really would. I think that he could make a difference. I'm not sure that Doué's done enough for me. So whether Dembele comes out here and Cherki goes into that 10 position, that for me would be a little bit better, because he does get on it and he does get turned and he will play people in. But at the moment, they're not getting that off of Dembele. Dembele's not getting on the ball.
Barcola may be an option as well. Bradley Barcola, who's been linked with Arsenal and Liverpool. Forward by Saliba, high on the diagonal. 6 added minutes at the end of the first half. No great excitement in the crowd here in New York, New Jersey at the moment. Although that said, for the Senegal fans, it has certainly been a really positive half. Jupe's clearance cannons off one of the France players, and goalkeeper and defender nearly confuse each other. Niakate sweeps it away from Mbappe, and Jupe manages to win a throw off the onrushing Michael Olise.
You know, I'm not a great lover of those diagonals, you know, from centre halves out to wide players. You watch, you know, the Premier League every week. You don't see those balls. They're too risky, you know, and in this game they can't afford to do that. They've got to pass the ball to get there, and that strikes me as being, I mean, it's a little bit tired looking.
Yeah.
You know, when you take that option, you play a long ball instead of that harder option, that more physical option of actually running and moving the ball and passing the ball.
Gay has done just that. Idrissa Gay to find Jatta in the right back position. We are 90 seconds through the 6 added at the end of the first half on Talk Sport. It is still goalless, France against Senegal. France, one of the hot favourites coming into this World Cup. Header on by Rabiot. Good touch by Dembele. He's got Mbappe ahead of him. Dembele out left to Doué, and the pass is poor. Well retrieved by Jatta, but France should have made much more of that. Jatta looking early down the right-hand side. Saliba across in front of Kamara to clear.
That is a big opportunity to go and create a chance, and you know, a slack ball by if anyone, Dembele again. You know, looked a little bit fatigued to me. You know, it looked a little bit tired in terms of his leg, you know, and getting that ball there.
Well, he was given extra time to prepare after the Champions League final, and he has had injury issues this season. Ousmane Dembele, is this maybe one game too far at the moment for him? We'll see. We're in the third of the 6 added minutes at the end of the first half. Mendy drives the ball high and long. Header away by Theo Hernandez as the sun just dips behind the clouds for the first time in the game. Back it goes to Magnon. Magnon clears left-footed upfield. A really poor, over-casual clearance from Magnon. And now here come Senegal. Nearly a clever 1-2 between Idrissa Gay and Kamara. Doué's won it back. Little back heel. Straight to the feet of Jatta. Now Ismaïla Sarr not making Theo Hernandez, but his touch was too heavy, and it was easy for Saliba to win it back. Very simple, in fact. Rabiot back to Saliba again. Have had that one effort on target from Mane, but it was the simplest of saves from Magnon. It barely registered. Really poor early ball from Theo Hernandez towards Mbappe, who looks very isolated there in his dark blue shirt, the number 10.
Looks forlorn. His body language is very, very negative. You know, he's got to help his teammate there. You know, when it is a bad ball, give him a little bit of encouragement. You know, don't give him ridicule when that body language, you know, points the finger at the player that's made the bad pass, and it's not really fair.
We're over halfway through the 6 added minutes here, but plenty in the crowd have left their seats for the concourse areas ahead of half-time. Tchouaméni dropping in between the two centre-halves, little 1-2 between him and Rabiot as the sun now returns. Out on the right-hand side is Koundé, and he had runners ahead of him, but elects to go backwards to Tchouaméni.
But again, full-backs high so early that it doesn't leave any space because everyone's had to come inside.
Koundé out on the right-hand side, Mbappe in the middle calling for it. Koundé's cross is too deep, overhit, and out of play for a goal kick. Mbappe wanted it on his head. Koundé misjudging the cross. Jules Koundé, who spent a lot of his career, of course, as a centre-half, but in recent years has been almost exclusively a right-back, and he is France's first choice. Malo Gusto among those on the bench of Chelsea. Upamecano in the centre circle. 90 seconds of the first half to go. Again, Koundé, the number 5, out on the right. Back to Upamecano once more. Mbappe playing right on the last shoulder of the last defender. Here is Doué, nudging it to the left-hand side, and Rabiot picks out Theo Hernandez. Not a great deal of dynamism in this build-up play from France. France 0, Senegal 0. Olise back to Dembele, out wide right is Koundé. Early ball towards Olise again, swept away by Niakate upfield. That should just about do it for Senegal.
There'll be a percentage figure that you could work out, that how many times they give the ball away off for one touch as opposed to how many times they give it away when they take a touch. And trust me, it's off of one touch they're giving the ball away far, far more. They've got to have a touch and make sure the pass gets there. Even under pressure, they can still have a touch.
Absolutely. Well, they've got a reputation, haven't they, Mark McGee, for starting tournaments slowly. Kamara for Senegal. With a dart down the middle. He lays it square into the path of Sadio Mane. Wide left is Juve. Last few seconds of the first half. Mane is in behind here. Away from Koundé. Mane across. Salah! Over the top! Had to score! 6 yards out. It's way over. What a chance for Senegal.
In the last seconds, the dying embers of this first half. What a chance. Now, we're going to look at it, I know, in a minute. Look at the pitch. Let's see what happens with the bounce, because there's a couple of things that have happened, I think. It definitely pops up a little bit, almost a la AstroTurf. It pops up that level higher, but he's still got to just pass it into that bottom corner, just side foot it, low down into the bottom right-hand corner of the goal.
Well, he couldn't, and that is half-time, and France are fortunate that it is level. They have barely threatened, while at the other end, Senegal have looked lively, fleet of foot. Nicholas Jackson hit the post, and Ismaïla Sarr, with the final touch of the first half, should have put the Senegalese in front. Somehow at half-time on TalkSport, France 0, Senegal 0. And perhaps surprisingly, no changes at half-time. Not a surprise for Senegal, that, but certainly from a France perspective, we did wonder. Though, all that being said, in 2022, when they reached the final and came so close to lifting the trophy, 11 of their 16 goals came after half-time in matches. So they can be slow starters. Last of the France subs just trundling towards the near side touchline off the edge of the pitch, and will be ready to get back off and underway. A lot of empty seats actually ahead of the start of the second half. Many thousands around the stadium here, with the sun still shining. These are glorious conditions, I suppose, if you're a fan, perhaps less so if you're involved on the field. 25 degrees or so here at the New York, New Jersey stadium. As Senegal kick us off in the second half, they kick for touch, and France have a throw 10 yards from their own corner flag on this near side the right. Senegal playing from right to left in the white shirts, green shorts and white socks, and France dark blue shirts, white shorts and red socks from left to right. Expecting a much sharper France performance in this second half as Elise's caught. He goes down straight away. I wonder what Didier Deschamps has had to say at half-time. I suppose we'll find out over the course of the next 45 minutes in the company of former Scotland assistant Mark McGee.
Yeah, no changes, and I agree. I thought there might have been at least one, but he's going to give it a go. He's obviously had some information from that he thinks will be enough to change it and to get them on their way and get the World Cup started, because they really haven't yet. But we did say it that during your good spell, normally you have to get something, and Senegal didn't, so they might regret that, because France might find a rhythm. They might start getting the ball into Mbappe and into Dembele, and they might get more out of them.
Well, it was Ismaïla Sarr with a glaring miss, an open goal virtually right at the end of the first half, with a big chance for the game so far. France have Magnon away to the left in bright yellow in goal. The defenders are Koundé, Upamecano, Saliba and Teo Hernandez, Tchouaméni and Rabiot, and then Dembele, Elise and Doué in support of Mbappe up front. Mbappe has rarely been involved over the course of the game so far, live on TalkSport.
He has really rarely been involved, Joe, but what I have done is I've kept an eye on him, and he's working back and forward, making those little darting runs, trying to get it on it. There he is again, opened up himself.
Doué shoots, and it's only a yard or so wide. Doué driving forward to the edge of the penalty area, reached the edge of the D, and that left-footed curling effort had the goalkeeper scrambling a little. Easily France's best moment of the game so far.
That was a lot better, but again, keeping your eye on Mbappe there. Mbappe, pulling off, pulls the defender away and opens it up for him. That's the influence he has.
I give you the Senegal team as well. Mendy in goal, Jatta, Koulibaly, Niakate and Diouf. Three in midfield, Idrissa Gueye, Pape Gueye and Kamara, with Ismaïla Sarr, Jackson and Mane as the front three. Actually, since they lost to England in the last 16 in 2022, Senegal are unbeaten in their last 30 competitive games. Header only half cleared away by Upamecano, and that bobbles behind in the end for what has been given, actually, I think, as a free kick to France for a foul on Upamecano, because it certainly went behind of his head, but France get a free kick anyway.
Yeah, just he nudges, on Upamecano's second header, he just sort of backs into his side, and the referee gave a free kick.
Already a greater energy about France early in this second half. Galloping down the left-hand side is Théo Hernandez, and he's being held up by Koulibaly down by the corner flag. Koulibaly and Jatta doing up between them to fight off the French threat, at least for now. Still plenty of empty seats around the stadium early in the second half. Live on TalkSport, where it's France 0, Senegal 0. The turn of one of the tournament greats, storied World Cup history, certainly in modern football for France. Twice World Cup winners against a Senegal side whose best showing was reaching the quarters in 2002, and of course that year they shocked the world by beating France by 1-0 in their opening game. Still very warm here on the northeast coast of the United States. Chouameni, the number 8, midway inside his own half, in between the two central defenders, gets it back from Saliba. Chouameni glides towards the right, tees up Upamecano. Upamecano's early ball, good intelligent ball down the inside right. Koundé finds Dembele, but the offside flag is up. You can see, I mean, you know what it would be like as a former assistant manager yourself, Mark. He's had some words at half-time, hasn't he, Deschamps?
He's definitely had words, but I still maintain that they're not creating enough space, they're not taking enough room to make those passes and to make those runs because of the cramped nature of it. Where Elise is playing, he's having to play, he's obviously been told to play right inside there, and I don't think they're getting the best out of him at all.
Good turn by Rabiot, takes Kamara out of the game. Rabiot's early ball is overhit, far too much weight on it for Michael Olise. He stuck out a left leg, a trailing left leg, but he couldn't get it under control, and it's all the way through to Edouard Mendy.
Yeah, they're trying to, thread it into Olise there, his back to the play. He wants to be getting off the side and running at people, going inside, coming outside, checking off, laying it off, play with Mbappe or play with Dembele. At the moment he's playing almost like a centre forward when the midfield of the ball, they're looking for someone to pass to.
Had Mexican waves at one point in the first half, which tells you all you need to know about the France approach in particular. Maybe the heat is playing a part as well. These are potentially energy sapping conditions, and the sun is still beating down pretty relentlessly. More live football to come on the TalkSport network tonight. Iraq against Norway elsewhere in Group I. At 11 o'clock, Argentina get underway at 2 a.m. here on TalkSport. Good work by Sarr, wriggling forward. Now Kamara midway inside the France half, loses possession. No foul on him. Racing forward is Doué. To his left is Mbappe. Mbappe, as he loves to do, collects possession, and now is he going to dart in field onto the right foot? Well marshalled by Koulibaly, and Senegal win it back with the intensity and the energy of Idrissa Gana Gueye. Kamara's ball, Sarr could be clear. Saliba lunges in and timed the challenge to perfection. He pokes it back to his goalkeeper. Brilliant work from two centre halves at either end of the field.
Absolutely brilliant with Saliba there. Look, his legs were long enough, but that was the timing of it and the stretching of it was superb. It was a great interception.
And suddenly there's an injection of some much needed pace into the game. A vibrancy about the stadium, the noise of the Senegal fans who are on their feet in their thousands here.
Just come back to France's last attack before the little incident there with Saliba. Mbappe gets on it and doesn't beat his man, but equally Doué, he makes a run towards him and almost like cramps up the space rather than coming away or pulling away and allowing Mbappe space to go and take him on. As it was, he was forced into a more tighter area and was robbed of the ball.
Well, the tournament is really hotting up, and of course England underway tomorrow live on TalkSport. 9 o'clock kickoff against Croatia from Dallas. France win it back high up the pitch. Koundé to Olise, and Olise surges forward. What a run! And Mendy makes a brilliant save. Elise on his World Cup debut surged right down the middle, and the goalkeeper with a sprawling stop at his feet.
A brilliant run, brilliant effort. Little slid ball, he takes him on well, he leaves him for dead, and what a great save, what a great save. No, well done the goalkeeper.
Stretching his legs there, Mendy, and almost Superman style denying Michael Elise an opening goal. Corner to France. Elise whips it in, and Mendy's there again, gathers the ball high on the edge of his six-yard box. He's a goalkeeper with a rich history of winning trophies at club and international level. Former Champions League winner with Chelsea, Edouard Mendy. And that was the moment of the match, and certainly the save of the match by the Senegal goalkeeper, 0-0.
And you'd think that that would give both Elise and the teammates a little bit of encouragement, that little step up, the little movement across the pitch rather than, those straight balls through. Elise, showed his ability. I'd like to see him do that more off the right-hand side than, central. But it will certainly give him encouragement.
Already, Mark McGee, more shots for France in 8 minutes of the first half than in the second half than in the whole of the first half.
Yeah, Didier Deschamps done his work, hasn't he?
Certainly has. Oh, to be a fly on the wall in the dressing rooms at half-time at a World Cup like this. But he's clearly had something to say, and Senegal suddenly are on the back foot. Back it goes to Mendy rather hurriedly. Mendy plays out from the back, finds Idrissa Gueye, who plays a straight ball upfield, well controlled by Ismail Assar. He will drive on, he slips it through to Jackson. Jackson blocked off by Upamecano, and that is enough to send it into the gloves of Manuel.
Nice play though, right through from the goalkeeper through the middle of the park, and he almost gets him down the side. But Upamecano's played well. Upamecano's defended well all afternoon.
Now Elise, little dummy, as the ball doesn't reach Mbappe at the other end of the field. Senegal counter. Pat Gueye in the centre circle. A much greater pace to the game than in the majority of the first half, and this is the sort of match that maybe we were expecting from the outset, with France largely on the front foot. France 0, Senegal 0, and you're listening to World Cup Game Day live on TalkSport, brought to you by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, they're here for it.
It was a nice bit of play there when Elise did the dummy, but
And now Sarr through towards Jackson again, and he just misjudges the way to the pass. Jackson again well marshalled by Upamecano. Again, Mandon is there together.
No, just saying that Mbappe didn't read the dummy, so all afternoon Mbappe's looked a little bit off the pace, I have to say.
He has, hasn't he? But in an instant, on the biggest stage, Kylian Mbappe can make himself known again. That's the quality that he's got, as have the attacking trio around him. Doué, Elise, who's playing in that number 10, which is not unfamiliar for France, and Dembele. Right wing position, Dembele's got it now. Poor ball in field, overhit, Koundé can't get there. Halfway line is Jackson. Jackson in nearly turning into trouble. Heavy touch, Kamara, one back by Elise. Here's Mbappe, here's his chance. Mendy's there again. Edouard Mendy, a one-man band, and he keeps France at bay for the second time in almost as many minutes. What a save!
Well, it's the ball they live for with Mbappe. That little one, slight diagonal down the side. He's in, he should score.
Mbappe left wing position, couple of step overs, and he wins France a corner. The chances are racking up for the 2 times World Cup winners. How is it still 0-0?
Well, when he gets in there, there's a little bit of just a nick that just puts him off enough. A good little bit of defending without giving away a penalty. Yep, that was decent.
Jatta lunging into the last with a very important challenge, though Mendy still had to make the save. Upamecano and Saliba are both forward here. 11 minutes into the second half, corner's taken short, back out wide, Elise, Teo Hernandez, poor ball in, cleared away by the knee of Koulibaly. It's dropped back to Doué. Doué's given it straight to Jatta, and he'll just fire it forward upfield to the halfway line. But France from left to right in the dark blue shirts have possession back again, and there is no doubt now that the French are looking a threatening, menacing team live on TalkSport.
Yeah, they're definitely up to their game, but the set plays have been terrible. You know, that last corner was no better than any of the others, but they certainly look as if they've got a little bit more movement.
What's a run by Mbappe down the right? He's chopped down by the defender. Is that a penalty? Referee says corner. No penalty. As Mbappe surged forward, it didn't look like the defender made much contact with the ball, and a corner is given, and Didier Deschamps is raging.
Didier Deschamps is apoplectic. I mean, that's a penalty for me.
Sadio Mane with the challenge. And at the moment the referee is standing on the edge of the box surrounded by France players.
I think the referee's the only person in the stadium that thinks it wasn't a penalty.
Well, he doesn't get the ball, so how on earth could it be a corner? Surely VAR is looking at this. Well, that is a massive moment, and VAR is checking for a possible penalty for a potential foul by Mane on Mbappe. The two number 10s head to head. The news has reached the crowd. They're cheering now, the French supporters. Are they going to get a penalty kick here, Mark McGee?
He definitely causes Mbappe to lose his balance and to go down. You know, Mbappe doesn't, play for it. Mbappe's trying to score. He goes past him and he climbs in. He's just a fraction late and he catches him in the thigh and he goes down. He knocks him off balance.
And still we wait as the check, as far as we're being told, continues here. A dramatic and very important moment in the New York, New Jersey sunshine on TalkSport. Mbappe, it appeared to be, was chopped down by Sadio Mane while racing into the penalty area. And still the check continues. I'm surprised it's taking as long as this. He's going to be sent to the monitor, and we know what that usually means.
And didn't you just say it, a couple of minutes ago about the what Mbappe brings you, that as quiet as he is and as poor as we feel he's been and he's not been at it, he has the ability to produce that moment. He just catches the outside of his left heel there with his knee, and that causes him to lose balance. Otherwise, I think Mbappe's onto the ball and he's got a possibility of either creating a goal or scoring a goal. Alireza
Fagani is the match referee. He is watching the incident again and again and again, unfolding in slow motion and now in real time on 2 or 3 different angles. I mean, from each and every angle it looks like a sobering moment this for Senegal. Surely the only decision is penalty. Are we going to hear from the referee, I wonder?
The attacker initiates the contact. The final decision is goal kick.
Well, it is a penalty for France, and Sadio Mane. No penalty given, no foul. Well, that is extraordinary. Half of the crowd thought it was a penalty, the other half said no penalty given by the referee. Sent to the pitch side monitor, and he sticks with his original decision. What a moment in the World Cup. Mane and Mbappe, no penalty.
For me, that is absolutely outrageous. I mean, he goes past him, he doesn't go down deliberately, he tries to skip over him, he comes across, his knee catches the outside of his left heel, causes him to lose his balance, and he goes down. It's a blatant penalty.
Well, the France fans were cheering, but now it's the Senegal supporters who are dancing in the stands. No penalty. He doesn't get near the ball, Sadio Mane, and Didier Deschamps still seeking an explanation from the fourth official. No penalty kick, and it's still 0-0. High drama.
The referee's clearly arguing that as much as he didn't get the ball, he didn't cause him to go down, but he does. His knee catches his left heel and it knocks it aside, and it just causes him to go down. He can't stay on his feet. It's a penalty kick all day.
But it's not been given, and Senegal escape, and France just cannot believe it. Deschamps continues to remonstrate, but the decision will not be changed. It was recommended that the referee go and seek out the pitch side monitor for clarification, and and he sticks with his original decision. In some ways you admire the courage of referee Fagani, but it does seem like a massive mistake, having seen it again and again and again in slow-mo at various angles in real time. Nowhere near the ball, Sadio Mane.
I don't think I can admire the referee for sticking to his guns. I think he showed arrogance there. He had a sort of attitude towards it. He wasn't going to be proven wrong. He's given the decision, and that's going to be the decision. That was a penalty kick all day long. I did not like that referee making the decision the way he did.
Well, we are seeing it on our monitors in the commentary position again from the referee's angle as France go back to Magnon, who clears away. The original decision was corner, and then eventually a goal kick given to Senegal after review. No foul, no penalty. Well, that is going to be talked about again and again and again. And now Magnon is under pressure, and he's hooked it away onto the chest of Upamecano, nudges into the path of Koundé. France hope that it won't matter, that decision. Good turn by Elise away from Idrissa Gueye. Mbappe ahead of him. Through to Mbappe! And the goalkeeper gets there just about to make the save. Mbappe's touch just wasn't there, and so far it's just not France's day.
Yeah, but suddenly we're seeing the France we know and love. Bit of pace in the run, super little slid ball. Mbappe tries to take it with outside his right foot to touch it to the side of the keeper and misses it. It was just too far ahead of him, but great bit of play from Elise.
Good early ball to Sarr meanwhile. Sarr at the other end surging into the box. Down he goes under the challenge of Theo Hernandez, and a goal kick is the decision.
Strong defending, good defending.
Well, it's all happening, and we are hearing from colleagues on television that Mark Clattenburg, the former referee, has looked at the penalty incident again and said that it is the right decision, not a clear and obvious error, and that he shouldn't have been called over to the monitor in the first place, the referee. Well, was it clear? Was it obvious? It felt pretty clear and obvious to us.
I can't even hear that. That is outrageous. For Matt Clattenburg to say that. What about the contact? What is he saying? There's no contact? There is contact. He tries to stay on his feet. There's contact and he goes down.
Now Doué tees up Theo Hernandez. Well blocked on the edge of the penalty area, and it's going to rebound away out of play on the left-hand side. The message from the referee is that the attacker Mbappe initiated the contact. Here is Mbappe again. Doué's dummy inside the box, hacked away. Senegal are under siege at the moment. It's all France from left to right. Attack the defence as we head towards the midway point of the second half. Elise's infield. We're on the edge of our seat here on TalkSport at the World Cup. Great reverse ball. Mbappe! That's his moment! King Kylian does it again! Mbappe, now the all-time joint top scorer in the history of France. What a ball to find him, and a typically composed finish. He just cannot keep a good man down, and he is one of the all-time greats. France won, Senegal 0.
I'm glad I'm here to see that. That was just fantastic. A great little slid ball, but what a run! That little diagonal run, and it's a subtle finish, but he's not going to miss that one. That was absolute brilliant goal.
And he's onside, Mark McGee.
Yeah, he's early run, but he's onside, and he's turned right foot. Great finish.
He goes level with Olivier Giroud. 57 goals in 99 France appearances. Nobody does it better than Kylian Mbappe.
I've got no stake in France, but I actually feel quite emotional because I love seeing great players do great things, and we talked about it in the car on the way over here. We said, about great players stepping up when they're needed, and we've been critical of him in this game. He's not been brilliant, but as you say to yourself, Joe, he's got the ability to pop up with a moment.
Oh, and here he goes again, nearly in behind the Senegal defence. Senegal look ragged here. We can barely hear ourselves above the noise of the France fans inside the stadium. Mbappe makes his mark. Oh, but here's Sarr at the other end. Sarr, right-footed effort! What a finish, but the flag is up. Goalkeeper backs away again and again. Jackson with the strike, but it's offside.
He's always offside. It's that thing again about why did they not put the flag up? It's clearly offside. He wasn't a yard offside, he was about 4 yards offside.
Well, it's a little tighter than maybe it appeared at first glance. What a finish by Nicholas Jackson, but he is off.
Yeah,
not by much.
An outrageous finish. And he's hit the post in the first half. You know, he's got to believe that maybe he'll get another chance and he won't be offside and won't hit the post. So he's got to keep believing.
So now we have the hydration break. France 1, Senegal 0. What a shame in a way, because it has so much momentum this game at the moment, but we take a breath, Mark McGee.
Yeah. Well, in the first half it took us a long time to get to the hydration break. It seemed to take forever, and now there's one. I can't believe it's actually already the hydration break.
Mark, you were very strong on that penalty kick. You know, you said it was the arrogance of the referee. You said it's a really poor decision. I completely agree with you, by the way, but France have been vindicated by the changes they've made at half-time. They deserve to be in front.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, they've upped it a gear. Suddenly we see, as I said, the France that we know and love, the movement. You know, Elise, you know, had his shot coming across from the right to left. Mbappe's looked a little bit sharper, but, you know, he showed it there. You know, what a great little run. Stayed onside and was able to reverse it into the opposite corner from the goalkeeper. Left the goalkeeper flat-footed. Fantastic moment for the young man. Fantastic.
Mbappe has arrived at the World Cup, and he's now only 3 off Miroslav Klose's all-time tally of 16 in the history of the World Cup, and it's another assist for Michael Elise. I make that 28 for club and country over the course of the start of the season, and Mark is in tears, such is the emotion here. And this is what the World Cup does. This is how brilliant it is.
But not really in tears, but oh my goodness, I just find these sport moments, and to be here to see that is special. You know, it is an absolute privilege to be here and see Kylian Mbappe score his first goal in this World Cup for his national team in this stadium, in these circumstances. It's just amazing.
We are very lucky, just as the 78,000 in the stadium are joining us here live on Talk Sport. You're listening to World Cup Game Day Live, brought to you by Burger King Burger Buddies. Total tournament satisfaction delivered to you by the experts. Order now on the BK app. Well, the crowd are loving every moment, and they're loving the celebrity spotting over the course of the hydration break. There are a lot of New York Knicks shirts and caps here, including mine, because of the celebrations with the Knicks having won the NBA Finals against the San Antonio Spurs. But football about to retake centre stage again now. France 1, Senegal 0. And this is World Cup Game Day Live on Talk Sport, brought to you by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, they're here for it. So, Mark McGee, which way will the game swing next?
Well, I think you know, France have got a foot in it now, and I think it'll be difficult for Senegal to get back to this. But what I would say, I'd like to award about Nicholas Jackson. I think he's been terrific.
Koundé's ball, Elise edge of the area, back to Koundé, crosses in, Mbappe went up for it, cleared away, Elise on the volley, and that is going to go straight into the arms of the goalkeeper. Easy save there from Edouard Mendy.
You know, Upamecano and Saliba, not easy players to play against, but he's held his own, you know, and he's made himself a couple of chances. That one just offside, it was offside. The other one, he's hit the post really unlucky and nearly got it off a rebound. So he's done okay, and he's got to keep believing that he'll get another chance.
France 1, Senegal 0. We've got 18 minutes to go, plus added time. We've barely seen any sort of attacking threat from Senegal in the second half, playing from right to left. Their efforts have been few and far between, and that miss from Ismaila Sarr, as Mark and I were saying right at the end of the first half, looks all the more crucial now that France and their maestro have broken the deadlock. Kamara though, galloping down the right, winning a corner for Senegal. Maybe all hope is not lost just yet, as we know, Mark McGee, one that is a dangerous scoreline at any time.
Really dangerous scoreline. We felt it the other night, and we with Scotland 1-0 for a long time, and it was excruciating. I don't think it's quite the same for the French fans today. I think they'll be a little bit more at ease with their 1-0. They know they're capable with Upamecano and Saliba to defend a 1-0 lead, and of course they've always got the danger of that Mbappe or someone, Dembele, can run away and get a second goal.
Mark and I watching Scotland against Morocco later this week. Already really looking forward to it. England underway tomorrow against Croatia. Live on Talk Sport from inside the stadium in Dallas. It's a corner to Senegal, whipped into the near post, and too long in the end. It's going to drift out of play. I think it was Diouf the taker, usually much more reliable. It was Diouf, but a whip delivery that was overhit in the end, and it's a throw to France in the right back position.
Yeah, well, there's been a lot of talk, and I've done a lot of talking actually about set plays and the importance of set plays in this World Cup for lots of teams, including, I have to say, Scotland. But the set plays in this game so far have been poor by both teams.
Couple of changes for Senegal coming up, but here is Doué darting forward. Electric pace from Doué, surges into the area. Low shot, tipped away by Mendy at his near post. A save that you'd expect him to make. It rattles off his legs and behind for a corner.
When he's been asked the question, he's made 3 good saves now. That was that was a decent save as well. He's had to extend his leg. It's not just hit him. He's had to stick his leg out and get the ball away. But, giving away another corner, and that's always dangerous.
Sunderland's Habib Diarra and Ibrahim Mbaye, the 18-year-old from PSG, are the two who are going to be coming on very shortly. You're listening to Talk Sport live at the World Cup. 1-0 to France against Senegal. France corner taken short, Dembele, and now Theo Hernandez a long way from goal. Square ball to Koundé. Koundé wide right to Mbappe. Right corner of the penalty area here. Mbappe drops his shoulder, looks for the run of Koundé, little back heel. Mbappe beaten to it. Clearance away by Sarr. And now, is there a counter on for Senegal? There might be. Jackson over the halfway line, bundled over Nicholas Jackson. Wants the free kick, doesn't get it from the referee.
There was a coming together with Dembele and Jackson, I think it was, and the referee's not giving anything. I think it's right. I think that was just a coming together.
Well, here come the changes. Off goes Ismail Assar, replaced by Mbaye, who is being hailed as the heir apparent to Sadio Mane. And the change in midfield, another straight swap. Off goes Kamara, and on comes Diarra. Sunderland's Diarra, who didn't play a lot of football in his first season at the Stadium of Light. Iraq against Norway to come on Talk Sport 2. Argentina against Algeria is on Talk Sport at 2 a.m. England live tomorrow at 9 o'clock, build up all day on the Talk Sport network, and lots of live shows in the build up and all of the best post-match reaction as well. You'll be able to have your say on the World Cup Sports Bar, as you'd expect. 14 minutes to go plus added time, and Senegal are 1-0 down. Their exploits in the first half are distant memory. Mane jinking forward. Out on the right hand side is Mbaye, and he's blocked off, and now forward come France on the counter. They could wrap up the game here. Mbappe tearing beyond Koulibaly, leaving him on the floor, and then sweeping across in front of Mbappe was the newly arrived Diarra, who immediately is bundled over and does this time get the free kick.
I think we're going to hear a bit about this pitch after this game. There'll be a lot of comment made, and again, Mbappe tries to get out to his feet, and it just seems to me that it sort of sticks under his feet a little bit, and he wasn't really able to get it out and get at them.
Massive crowd here of more than 80,000 here inside the stadium that will host the final on the 19th of July. Every game of the World Cup is live with us. And when you do get your calls into the sports bar tonight and tomorrow, it'll be Jason Cundy and Jamie O'Hara taking your calls. Mbappe, midway inside the Senegal half, well won back by Diarra. No, in fact, fouls Mbappe right in front of the referee. France have a free kick. They've needed their magic man to produce the magic moment, and that's exactly what Mbappe has done.
And that's what World Cups are about, isn't it? You know, going back over all the World Cups, those iconic moments, and you know, I think that counts as one. You know, Kylian Mbappe as the star player, as the captain of the team, of the world superstar, of arguably, you know, the best player in the world, and he steps up and he scores a terrific goal. Really gives his team a chance.
Plenty of dark blue shirts forward here for France, including Mbappe, who is standing in an offside position at the moment. High diagonal free kick. Rabiot tries to head it across. It could drop to Upamecano. Dembele takes the ball away from goal inadvertently. And slide tackle in by Tchouaméni to win it back for France. Playing from left to right, much the better team in the second half. And they've got the goal that they'll feel they deserve. With 12 minutes plus added time still to play here. The ball is with Koundé out on the near side the right, and Dembele pops it back to Adrien Rabiot. Been a really good game in the second half, Mark McGee.
The second half's been terrific, but it's been about France and their movement and their speed and their passing of the ball's been so much better. You know, as a group they've found a little bit of fluency. As a team they've found a little bit of fluency, and it's just looked so much better and so much more like them.
Didier Deschamps half-time team talk has worked. And remember, when it came to Euro 2024, it took until the semi-finals for them to score a goal from open play. Here at the World Cup, they've done it in the opening game. They're going to make a change shortly. Crossed by Diouf. Great ball in! Oh, and over the top by Jackson. Another really good chance for Senegal, but the ball stays out.
What a terrific ball in. You know, that little bent in between that area between the last defender and the goalkeeper makes it very, very difficult to defend, but I think it was actually in the end he was given offside.
You're right. That checkered flag has gone up. Here comes the change. Dembele coming off, not surprising. His replacement isn't bad. Just a two-time Champions League winner in Bradley Barcola, who is reportedly the subject of interest from Arsenal and Liverpool. He started on the bench in the Champions League final.
Well, just when you think they couldn't possibly bring on somebody that's any quicker than the players that are on the pitch, they bring him on, you know. So, you know, we're going to see his speed and we're going to see the effect that he has. Very direct, gets at them, gets behind them. Wouldn't be surprised if he had an influence in what happens next in this game.
And it is that abundance of attacking quality which is why many are tipping France to go all the way. Diarra has given it away to Theo Hernandez of France in the left-back position. Now then, Barcola's first turn to run at the back line. He checks back instead this time. Picks out Tchouaméni with 10 to go. It's France in front in New York, New Jersey.
I think that Thomas Tuchel and the English players can be watching this and think, you know, we've not seen a team today, even in the second half, that I think that they necessarily think they can't deal with. I think that France's performance in the second half has been good and has been a lot more like themselves, but I think they've got a lot more to do.
The ball is won back by Doué. Here come the front four of France. Elise is in the middle now. Elise with a left-footed ball out to Barcola. Mbappe waits in the middle, menacingly so, but Barcola's lost the ball. And down goes Elise. Is he holding his ankle? He actually quite quickly gets up to his feet, so it doesn't seem like there's too much of a problem. Over the halfway line goes Diouf for Senegal. We've seen nearly all of the big hitters at the World Cup so far. England against Croatia tomorrow night at 9 o'clock live on Talk Sport. Build up starting in White and Jordan from 1 till 4 live from the World Trade Center here on the east coast of the United States. Now then, Pape Gueye blocked off by Doué midway inside the France half. Pape Gueye again has it back. His influence has waned. He's given it straight to the feet of Tchouaméni. Now here comes Rabiot. Two runners ahead of him, Barcola and Mbappe. Rabiot with the ball. Bradley Barcola's after it. Electric pace, electrifying! It's 2-0 to France, and Barcola has come on and scored a brilliant goal with virtually his first touch. Much too good, much too quick, and France are sending out an early World Cup statement of intent. It is France 2, Senegal 0.
Maybe Thomas Tuchel will be sweating a bit more now, but what a terrific goal. A run from the left-hand side across the face of the goal. His pace, his speed is just unbelievable. We commented on it as he came on the pitch that it could be something that would affect the game. It certainly has.
Pace to burn.
Terrific little sled ball.
And that little dink over the goalkeeper. Mbappe, we know, can finish. This kid isn't bad either. 2-0 to France. That'll do it. They'll be off to a winning start. Double change here for Senegal. And off go Nicholas Jackson and Pat Gay. On come Bamba Dieng and Iliman Ndiaye of Everton. But they've left it too late.
They have left it too late, but when a manager makes a substitution, he does it for a reason. He obviously felt that they needed to maybe try and get a bit more in front and to try and get another goal. And when the manager puts on a player and he scores right away, there's not much you can argue with him.
Well, big cheers for Barcola all around the stadium here. France have surely wrapped up the match, and after a stuttering first half, the French have produced a typically impressive response here in the second to send Senegal packing, surely, with 7 minutes of the game plus added time to go. That was a glorious goal, and the pace of Barcola is a joy to behold.
It's poetry in motion, isn't it? These boys are so athletic, but not just athletes. The speed that they cover the ground is just so impressive and so difficult to defend against.
When they are in form like this, you can see why many see them as the best in the world and the best at the tournament.
Yeah, well, they were my fancy team before we started. I don't know that I'm finishing this game and still thinking that they're going to win it. I have to see a bit more of others as well. But, they showed some great things. And, of course, what they have showed is they've got star players who can have a moment and it can cause you a real problem.
That goal came 190 seconds after he came on. At the other end, Mbaye trying to race forward, and Saliba does well to let it trickle into the gloves of Magnon. Blocked off Mbaye. And Magnon has been very well protected by his defenders. Here come France again, relentless now on the attack. Barcola down the left, jumps beyond the defender. What a run by Bradley Barcola, pulling it back. Elise to Mbappe, left-footed effort straight to the goalkeeper.
Just a little bit behind him, and he wasn't able to generate enough power. But again, the speed down the left-hand side, outstanding, and he leaps over the defender. He jumps him like a racehorse. Absolutely sensational to behold.
Well, this is a delight in the late afternoon sunshine as it is here. 5 minutes to go. It's a shame there aren't 50 minutes to go, because you could watch them come forward in this second half time after time after time. A long way still to go in the tournament, of course, but the contrast between the first and second halves is amazing from a France perspective. Some of the France fans are singing the national anthem La Marseillaise. Saliba, midway inside his own half the field. That kick goes to Upamecano from Chouameni. And now Koundé prodding it back to Upamecano, and the sting's really been taken out of the game by that second France goal, I think, Mark McGinn.
It has. Just Upamecano on the ball a couple of times here. I think he's played ever so well, because I think Nicholas Jackson gave him, a workout. If he didn't really test him, he certainly gave him a workout, and kept his team, steady until they got to the point where they started to play well.
Now we'll see one of the best attacking players in the Premier League take to the field. Ryan Cherki is going to replace Desiré Doué. Cherki playing at his first World Cup, his first major tournament, the 22-year-old. And again, the strength in depth in this France team, it's scary.
Yeah, Dou's done well. He worked hard. He didn't create a lot. He didn't make a lot, but he did. He was in the right positions defensively. He worked back hard enough. He did a good shift, as we'd say. But it'll be interesting to see Turkey for a couple of minutes. I'd like to see him for longer, but I'm sure we'll see a lot more of him in the competition, in the tournament.
Well, we will be live in Boston, Mark, Natalie and myself, for commentary on Talk Sport of the group game for France against Norway. Looking forward to that. Here goes Barkler again, raining down the left-hand side, and this time even he can't keep pace as the ball trickles out of play for a goal kick. June the 26th, that France-Norway game, as Senegal make another change. Off goes Idrissa Gueye, and on comes Pathé Ciss, who was a recent runner-up for Rayo Vallecano in the Conference League final against Crystal Palace.
I think Idrissa Gueye was probably their best player. I think he's done really, really well, particularly in that first half when they were in the ascendancy and they were looking threatening. I thought he orchestrated it really, really well, and also did that thing about blocking the balls into Mbappe.
Ball is midway inside the Senegal half, and there are only 2 minutes to go. 2 minutes plus added time. High ball towards the front man Dieng of Senegal, the number 9. Beaten to it relatively easily by Saliba, and Saliba rolls Royce of a centre-half, punches the air almost nonchalantly, takes in the acclaim of the crowd, showing the form that he showed all of last season for Arsenal, or this season just gone, and it's out of play for a goal kick.
We've just seen a rerun of the goal there. What a fantastic goal. He's so under control with the ball, even at the speed he's running at. He's able to see it, he's able to do it. It's brilliant.
I mean, he was, by the time he scored, he's probably 10 yards ahead of the last defender as he chips it over the goalkeeper.
Absolutely. His pace is just outstanding.
Barkler with the second, and Mbappe with the first, so he's level with Olivier Giroud's all-time France tally. Senegal get a corner. If they are to get something out of it, it would be an incredible late comeback, and they probably need to score from this. Over to take the corner, trots Diouf. Still nice and sunny, blue skies here at the New York, New Jersey Stadium. Diouf will deliver this, out swinging, and everybody back for France in the dark blue shirts. It's hoisted high to the back post. Climbing is near Karte. Jumping was Mbaye. France get it away. Now here they come on the counter-attack. It's Upamecano leading the charge. Didn't expect to see him through the middle, Mark McGee.
He's getting a bit excited. He's played really, really well. But I think he just gets back in now and just defends this last couple of minutes, make sure they don't lose anything silly and put themselves under pressure, even for a minute or two. The game's a funny game. They've got to keep it tight.
8 added minutes. Well, we did have the hydration break, and we did have an injury stoppage or two.
And the penalty.
Yes, well, the penalty that never was, but doesn't matter ultimately in the end for France, when it was still 0-0. He missed that, a long VAR check, referee sent to the monitor, but stuck with his original decision. Very unexpected, and at the time very controversial. Likely to have no effect on the game at this point though. As Senegal come forward, they have possession with Diarra, nutmeg on Cherki, out to Diouf. Diouf looks into the penalty area now. France defenders throwing themselves at the ball, among them Jules Koundé, as Iliman Ndiaye was blocked off, and now the counter could be on. Anticipation for France whenever Elise gets the ball. Lovely flick lay off to Cherki. Mbappe and Barkler in the middle. How's Cherki now? Edge of the penalty area, lays it square, can't find Elise. Blocked off by Ciss, and Senegal have it back again with Sadio Mane a minute into the 8th added. Sports Bar coming up next for you on Talk Sport. 03717 22344. Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy for the Sports Bar.
I mean, how many times we see Cherki coming off that side and creating or scoring for his club? So when he got on the ball there, you expect the best, don't you? But it's sort of frittered out.
Given away by Mbaye. They look a little ragged now, this Senegal team, and Elise's got it at walking pace. He thought about surging forward, in the end elected not to. Amazing journey for Michael Olise, from not making it in the academies at the likes of Chelsea and Manchester City to starting out with Reading and then of course Crystal Palace and now Bayern Munich and now a star at a World Cup. Barcola, his World Cup star, certainly born today, and he will be a candidate surely to start in France's next game of the tournament against Iraq in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I think so, because I think Didier Deschamps will spread it about a little bit. He'll save the energy, for the later stages, because there's no doubt that's where they're heading. They'll also look at it, obviously, as to who they're going to play, and take these sort of things into account. But he'll definitely spread it around. I would expect him, to be in the starting lineup for that game.
Well, plenty of interested spectators today, among those Gareth Bale, watching on from the posh seats here at the stadium. We have a lofty perch high up here, and it's a great tactical view of the game. France have it away on the left, but the game is surely won. It was surely won after that second goal scored by Barcola off the bench. 2-0 to France, 5 minutes of added time remaining here. England live tomorrow night against Croatia at 9 o'clock on TalkSport, live from Dallas, as England finally get their campaign underway. Out on the right for Senegal is Iliman Ndiaye. Socks rolled halfway down his shins, back to the feet of Jatta. Iliman Ndiaye again, shuffling forward, back to Jatta once more, corner of the penalty area, low cross, hits the first man, Theo Hernandez. Jatta keeps it in play out on the right, back to Cease. Cease with a big diagonal ball, right-footed with the right foot, and cleared away by Koundé. The ball will drop to Cherki. He's got runners ahead of him. Cherki jinking forward, nearly played in Kylian Mbappe. There are big gaps at the back left by Senegal defenders now, halfway through added time. Mark McGee, in the end, it's going to be very satisfactory this for France.
Yeah, and a great second half. Something that the manager will build on, I'm sure.
That game against Norway, which will be at in Boston, is an absolutely mouth-watering prospect at the moment.
It is, but if it keeps going the way it did in the first half, and he's scratching his head and he's working ever so hard to find a solution all week in training, but now he can take this in and he'll be fine.
Good skill by Mbappe though, and he's found the net. He got past Theo Hernandez, struck it right-footed. Goalkeeper got two hands to it, but couldn't keep it out. The ball is in the roof of the net, and Mbappe has scored, and Senegal, with 3 minutes of added time remaining, are back in the game. It is France 2, Senegal 1. The PSG man has struck.
What a fantastic finish. We've got 3 minutes to go. We spoke about it a second or two ago. What France don't want to do is they don't want to open it up like this. So they've now got 3 minutes to defend the 2-1 lead. This could get scary.
Well, he's fuming, Deschamps. He throws a water bottle to the ground. Theo Hernandez beaten in a one-on-one, and Mbappe's trying to calm everybody down, but it's 2-1.
Hernandez got stood up, didn't he? He got flat-footed, and when he's went past him, he's just fallen over. He didn't do enough.
Poor goalkeeping maybe by Magnon. Olise at the other end for France. Picks out Mbappe. 25 yards out! Magnifique! Arise, Kylian Mbappe! Officially the greatest goal scorer in France history, and what a way to do it! He's hit it right-footed into the top corner. Nobody better than Kylian Mbappe. Another record tumbles at his dizzying, twisting feet. What a right-footed shot! France 3, Senegal 1. He can close the book on it now.
Unbelievable. I mean, he's having a go at his own players up the field, and he just thinks to himself, I'll sort this out. And he just took it into his own hands and just blasted it into the roof of the net. Sensational, and that's why he's, the best player in the world. Wow, what a finish.
I almost don't know what to say. And I should do, of course. But he just took it on Mbappe there, as if to say, right, I'm ending this. And he just hammered it beyond Edouard Mendy. An incredible goal. 58 for France for Mbappe. He is their all-time record goal scorer. What a moment to witness, Mark McGee.
Absolutely fantastic. And I'm sure that Olivier Giroud won't deny him it. He's a great player, and what's he going to go on and do from here? What is he, 26? He's got so much more to come.
Yeah, he is a special player, and edging ever closer to Miroslav Klose's all-time World Cup record. He's only 2 off now. 3-1 to France with 30 seconds to go, and by crosses for Senegal, and it's nudged away by Saliba. Well, with this gifted man on the field, they've always got a chance in every game, and he's actually gone down here, Mbappe.
I think he took it in the nose. But I think, this is the sort of scoreline I think that we anticipated before the game, but not in any shape or form could we see it being this sort of scoreline in the first half.
Referee stopped it. Mbappe, I think you're absolutely right. Ball to the face, ball to the nose. So, only Miroslav Klose and Ronaldo have more World Cup goals than Kylian Mbappe. He's level with Gerd Müller. Talk us through it again here, Mark McGee, as he picks it up on the 25-yard line.
It's got a rules to him. It's almost like a bit. The defender actually throws it away, takes a little touch on his right foot, and the great thing is he's got it in his mind. He knows when he turns with his right foot, he's hitting it. He's not then looking up to see where the goalie is, or looking up to see how far out he is. He's already got all that in his mind. He's tuned into it. He's had that touch. He's got it in his right foot, and he's rifled it into the top of the net like a world-class striker that he is.
He started the day behind Olivier Giroud. He's now overtaken him. Mbappe is fine. He will finish the game. 3-1 to France. We've gone well over the 8 additional minutes, and France have given it away again. Here is Mbappe down the right-hand side in towards Dieng, and no goal! It might be! Did the goalkeeper gather it? He did! Magnon able to juggle the ball and stop it from crossing the line.
Well, I thought it was over the line. I was waiting for the referee to signal that his watch had buzzed or whatever, and it looked to me as if it was, but clearly it's not.
Just
no,
enough.
It's not.
On the stretch from the goalkeeper. That's
what an end to the game.
It's King Kylian Mbappe's day. The records have tumbled, and so in the second half did Senegal. France with an early signal of their World Cup intent, an abundance of talent on show, and certainly in the second half they delivered. Didier Deschamps' team have laid down an early marker here at the New York, New Jersey Stadium, but their main man, their number 10, now their greatest ever goal scorer, is the star, as so often the case. He opened the scoring minutes after France were denied a penalty in very controversial circumstances. Bradley Barcola came off the bench and scored within seconds to make it 2. Senegal got one back through Ibrahim Mbaye. It looked as though it would be a nervy finish for France, but Mbappe added the icing, saw the record tumble, got his 58th France goal to take him clear of Olivier Giroud, crowning him France's all-time highest scorer and making the final score France 3, Senegal 1.